or Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when we want to have them on. All right, what's going on today?
Well, hey, I wanted to talk a little bit about driverless cars, like you mentioned. We've heard a lot in the media recently in the last couple of years, especially with Google. You hear companies like Google have had over 1 million miles driven with driverless cars so far. But you hear the same thing. When I talk to individuals that aren't necessarily geeks like myself or techies that trust tech all the time, they go, I don't really want a computer driving me. I don't believe it's going to, be able to see everything on the road.
Right.
What's it going to do? So what was exciting at CES this year was that a company called NVIDIA, which generally makes graphics cards for computers.
Right.
Same thing so they're the ones that video gamers are pushing to make better and better products because they want better and better graphics in their video games. So when you're actually in your first driverless car, you can actually thank your video gamer and your family because they're the ones that push this industry. So what we're looking at, NVIDIA has come out with essentially a computer, a supercomputer for your car. It's about the size of a lunchbox or a briefcase.
Okay.
It'll fit in the trunk. And I think that's one of the biggest advances here is that if you've seen any of Google's or Audi's self-driving car prototypes, they have like an SUV with half of it filled with computer racks and everything else. Like it couldn't have happened in real life. But so they've got it down to about the size of a lunchbox. And what they're showing is they were able to train these computer systems to recognize people, to recognize cars on the road at such an amazing degree that it does it better than humans by far. In fact, at one point in time, they thought, they'll show in a second, a snowy kind of road. They thought, this was a data set provided by Audi, because Audi wanted to prove that this works or not. They thought that there was a bug, because they kept picking up on a car, but it actually was that the car was there, just humans couldn't pick up on it till it closed in.
All right, so you're showing, for those who are watching on the TV side, stltoday.com, ktrs.com, you're showing us video where there's a car driving down the street, and these little colored rectangles and squares are pointing out pedestrians are one color, street signs are another color,
Correct.
Cars are another color, and this Cyclops on this car is picking this out. So a driverless car is walking across this street, and a pedestrian wants to run to beat the car across the street. You're telling me that this software and this car will be able to stop faster and not hit that pedestrian than a human.
Absolutely.
Or like a
many
cat
times
or a
faster.
squirrel or something,
Absolutely.
or a dog.
And you've seen already with the millions of miles of driverless cars that have been done in testing already, the only accidents that have ever happened are people that aren't in the driverless cars. It's the fault of the human, and they like to get reported on that. So it's actually incredibly safe. And I think what the amazing thing about this thing is, though, is that in this lunchbox-sized device, a supercomputer, if you will, it's going to go in your car. It's about as powerful as 150 MacBook Pros combined. So if you give kind of an idea of how powerful this thing is. And again, all driven from computer graphics. And so what's amazing is this is all real time. It's recognizing all of these things, which is just insanely cool.
And it looks like now that we're showing like a heat sensor.
It's showing basically raw data output where it can, see that people are green. It can color cars, orange, or it can color the road purple. And so it's able to know exactly where it is, where objects are.
Can it read the street signs? Does it know that a street sign says stop or yield? Or?
Yes. Yeah, it can do that. Now, they haven't integrated a lot into that just yet other than speed. I know they pick up on speed.
Right.
But you'll notice in these sort of analysis, you'll see, you'll see the pick it up on the street sign.
I guess the question is, why would people want a driverless car?
Well, I think it's the future. I think what you're going to see is that cars
I'd love a
become
driverless
more
car.
and more like phone apps. It's going to be that it's a piece of tech that I'm going to be able to get into in the future and say, I need to drive to Columbia, Missouri. It's 2 hours away. I have a lot of work to do. I'm going to sit in the back or in the front, with a desk, and actually do my work while the car is driving itself.
Would you like to be in a limo on your way to Columbia? Have somebody else drive you so you can do whatever you want.
Part of me does, and part of me.
Let me ask you this question: You're not going to stop texting, so you might as well stop driving. Okay.
Well, here's a great example. Right now, we're so used to the idea and very comfortable to the idea of planes flying themselves on autopilot.
Yeah.
If we just said, hey, let's just have get rid of autopilot and have humans do that the whole time, that's going to cause problems. In fact, the amount of deaths go up, especially in cars. These are so much safer. The amount of human lives that'll be saved by automated systems are amazing.
All right, how much does something like this cost today?
Well, they don't have. It's going to be going to retail. It's going to be going to Audi. It's going to go to BMW, and it'll be part of your car price. It'll probably be a couple $1,000s currently.
And will these
not bad at all.
No,
will these cars be able to ride on the road with driver cars?
Yes, absolutely.
And will they be able to go? will they be able to go the same speed down
Absolutely.
Highway 40 so it won't take any more time?
Nope. Won't take any more time at all.
Maybe
It'd
it
be
will
less
cut down
even.
on road rage. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
you're not driving.
Think about
along.
And how long before this is actually
Well, all
on
of the tech
showroom?
actually exists today, and this could be put into play today. It's just a matter of regulations. This is the thing where you have government kind of slowing down, and maybe properly so, innovation until we figure it out.
I have heard that the problem with driverless cars is if you get into an accident, who do you sue?
Well,
Do you sue the computer? Do you sue the owner of the car? The guy's not driving.
Yeah, the
Sure.
man-
Who do you
yeah.
sue?
one thing that I would propose is that these things have, like, for example, in this system, 12 cameras, about 30 different sensors, all of that data is being recorded. So unlike normal accidents that happen now, we could replay back that scene from every different angle, and in a court of law, they could figure out whose fault it was very easily. And I'm sure that sort of regulation will be figured out as the politicians argue.
So you can
You
get
know
in your
what?
car drunk and have the computer drive you home.
Exactly.
If you give the right
and
address,
think about
if
that.
you're
So
sober.
So I think we need to keep that in mind. We need to get past these regulations, 'cause at the end of the day, it's going to make all of our lives better. It's going to save human lives. It's going to cut down on drunk driving, and it's going to make our roadways more efficient.
Though, when cars, fancy cars have the sensor issues. When your car goes,
Sure.
That's one of the things I'm worried about.
Well, true, and that's why they needed this much computing power, and we had to get to this point to where that's that much redundancy.
Now, Larry, we're going to leave you with this.
Sure.
You can drive a computer can drive your car across the country, but they still haven't been able to figure out how to defrost my front windshield as fast as my back windshield. Right?
There's
All
some-
you experts down there, you can't figure out how to defrost my front windshield.
There's some mysteries in life.
Unbelievable. All right, thanks, Larry.